Hi, welcome to the FilmCrop channel. Today I'm going to tell you about a trilogy called Police Story. The timestamps for the parts will be in the description below this video and in the comments. Please support me with a like and a comment. That way you can help the channel grow. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The cops are told about a mobster known as Joe Chu. He is surrounded by his bodyguard, his nephew and a woman named Selena Fong. The police need to arrest the whole gang. Inspector Bill Wong invites the cops to a table with envelopes, each envelope containing a personal assignment for each. After reading it, they destroy the papers. So the operation begins. The cops change into the costumes of ordinary townspeople and arrive at the scene of the mafia deal. But the man accompanying Selena guesses that they are being followed and tells the girl to leave. They disperse, and Chan realizes they have been exposed. He orders his partner to follow the man, and he goes after Selena Fong. As soon as the girl calls the drug baron, he snatches the phone from her and the baron guesses everything. Gunfire breaks out in the settlement and the police escort all civilians out. Inspector Wong can't figure out what's going on, but the cops don't have time to report. The mob shoots off the police so the boss can get away. Chan meets up with his partner Tom, his hands are shaking, and when he sees another cop being shot, he gets hysterical and starts shooting at everything. Chan breaks through the ranks of the mob. He is absolutely fearless and deft in his pursuit of the bandits, and Tom gets his first mafia hit and gets doused with fear. A very scary chase begins. Chan goes right after the mob, who are driving through apartment buildings. Everything around explodes, cars hit the ground like balls, but Chan finds the strength to run out of the car and chase the mob further. The bandits get on the bus, but Chan is more cunning. He takes a cane from a girl on the street and clings to the bus. When the mob notices this, they try to throw the cop off, but Chan does not give up and fights back until he is still on the ground. After the fall, he tries to chase the bus, jumping up and down mountains like a doe. He calculates the bus's route, overtakes it, ambushes it, pulls out his gun and breaks the bus right in front of him. The bandits run out of the car like cockroaches, but one of them is not destined to escape. It's Joe Chu. He offers Chan money, his entire suitcase, foolishly hoping it will save him, but cops like Chan would never go for such humiliation. After the operation, Superintendent Lee reprimands Chan, but he is saved by the paparazzi, who can't wait to interview the heroic officer. Lee decides they should let the secretary go. He tells them everything as it is. The superintendent decides to make Chan the face of the police and sends him on a photo shoot. Inspector 1, along with Lee, try to figure out how they can finally put the mobster behind bars. Chan decides to assign Selena Fong as a security guard, since she is an important witness in the Joe Chu case. He will have to guard the girl for 24 hours. Wong gives him a tape recorder to record the girl's testimony. On his way out, Chan tells the mob not to touch the girl and does go everywhere with her. But Selena is an unapproachable girl. She finds it hard to order or force anything, so she doesn't take Chan seriously. Chu's lawyer, meanwhile, comes to the mobster's house for a date and tells him about Selena. Chan walks the girl home, but she slams the door right in his face and won't let Chan go home. He stands in front of her window, and the girl closes the curtain. This is when the killer really wants to break into her house. She notices the door open and then the killer himself in her closet, but it turns out to be a disguised cop who has come to scare the girl to death. Chan heroically runs into the house and disarms his partner. They surreptitiously cut the wire from the phone, and when the cop has to leave, the girl smashes a vase over his head and he loses consciousness. Chan tries his best to bring him to his senses, but he really screws up. Chan pretends to talk to his superiors, over a cut wire, and gives up the case, but the girl finally realizes how much she needs protection. He manipulates the unapproachable maiden and tells her that she needs to move into his house. Now they will live together. On the way, Chan becomes too calm and runs over a man with a stroller. It was a trap, and the thwarted criminals arrive on the scene. A big scuffle ensues, but when the girl pulls out her gun, everyone scatters. This gives Chan and Selena a head start and they leave. Chan advises her to testify in court and incidentally tapes a little interview. They arrive at Chan's house, where his sweetheart May is waiting for him. She wishes the policeman a happy birthday, but notices a half-dressed Selena with him and quickly changes her face and smears cake all over Chan's face. The birthday party is over. And then the doorbell rings. It's his friend. He brings May back, but she says nothing and listens to Chan discuss her with Selena. Then she calls him from the second phone in the house and listens to him supposedly talking to her. Chan tries his best to seem cool, but then notices May. She smears the cake all over his face again and tries to ride away on her motorcycle, but falls over. Chan tries in every way to stop her, but she drives away, leaving her woeful lover behind. Selena notices a picture at Chan's house with the rest of her colleagues and decides to teach him a lesson, too. She seduces Chan into going to bed without him at the last minute. Chan wakes up to a phone call from the police, all waiting for him and Selena in court, but he notices that the girl has disappeared. Chan brings a tape recorder with a recorded statement to court and tells Inspector Wong about the missing girl. He testifies in court, but the pedantic lawyer chews over every detail of this rather obvious case to save this dirty drug lord. Chan can barely keep from screaming, but at the last moment he remembers a tape recording of Selena's testimony, but it turns out to be a recording of her seductions. The police and Chan leave the courthouse in disgrace, and the dirty mobster walks free. The sleazy lawyer smiles at Chan. Joe Chu sees Chan on TV, and he is interviewed about the details of the drug bust operation. This angers the mobster, but soon his accomplices come into the room and say that Chan will also receive a reward. The lawyer says they're in trouble, his accounts are frozen and their partners no longer give them credit. Joe Chu calls Selena, who has been hiding in a house that only he knew about all this time. The mobster says he wants to send her to Europe and asks for patience. Joe Chu slowly realizes what a difficult situation he's in, and his partners offer to get rid of the cop. Joe Chu summons the corrupt cop who ruined their raid in the village and asks him to kill Chan, who has become his #1 target. The sergeant himself spends his time at the police station making himself some instant noodles, but a friend calls him on the phone and says he can't find Selena, and the mob is watching him in the meantime. Chan gets a call from his sweetheart May, but they are interrupted by constant calls to every phone in the office. He masterfully ignores all the calls to steal time for May. Finally, he can eat his favorite noodles. But then suddenly another phone rings. Chan arrives at May's house to talk about everything, but she won't listen to him. He asks the girl to hold the car because her handbrake is broken and goes to call his friend, who lies to him that he found out Selena's whereabouts, but in fact sent Chan into a trap. The girl forgets about the car and goes to her lover. They try to talk, but the car almost hits them and crashes into a fence. Chan leaves the girl and tells her to call a tow truck, while he takes the first cab he can find and goes after the witness. He sneaks onto the property and sees Selena tied up. As soon as he frees the girl, he is attacked from all corners by bandits. He defends himself as best he can, but finds himself defenseless against the treachery of his former partner. But the mob has other plans. They kill his former partner with Chan's gun. The sergeant seizes the opportunity, takes the girl to the roof and dumps her in the pool. She is saved, but Chan is left on the roof, surrounded by the mob. The bandits do not kill him, but put him to sleep. Inspector 1 argues with Lee because he cannot believe that the policeman was killed by Chan's gun. Joe Chu's plan worked and Chan's reputation will be badly shaken if he doesn't figure out how to get out of this situation. He arrives at the police station and catches a glimpse of the other cops. Chan talks to Lee, but the latter says that the law is the same for everyone and calls the other cops to take Chan away as a voluntary surrender. He won't put up with this absurdity, because all Lee does is give orders. He doesn't care about the cops. Chan decides to do something even more absurd. He takes Superintendent Lee hostage and walks out of the station with him, puts Lee in his car and drives away. As he drives away from the station, he tells Lee that he would never shoot him, but now he must go away and see the matter through. Surprisingly, Lee calmly wishes him luck, for he understands why he had to take such measures. The first thing Chan does is go to his former traitor friend and knock out the mobsters guarding him. The traitor immediately falls to his knees and apologizes, saying he was forced to do it. Selena also hides from the mob and goes to the computer center to pull all the information from Joe Lu's database. The mobster immediately realizes it's her and rushes over there with her cronies. The girl prints out all the information, puts it in her briefcase and runs away. Chan deals with the mob then gives her a head start. Selena comes to her senses, but is afraid to go to the police because of a fake cop. The bandits manage to kidnap both the girl and the bag. The police try to apprehend them, but find themselves beaten. Chan regains consciousness after falling down the stairs and catches up with the villains. They try to attack him with bats, but they don't know at all that Chan doesn't necessarily have a weapon with him and the sergeant quickly deals with them, but as soon as they feel they are losing and start to viciously attack the whole crowd, but even that doesn't stop Chan. He hangs on for a long time and when he finds himself on the floor, Selena helps him by attacking the mobsters with a bat from behind. One of the bandits even tries to run him over with his motorcycle, but Chan masterfully dodges that as well. The truth is that among these rats, the worst one was found and grabbed the folder, dropping it at the very bottom of them all. The mob ran after that folder, racing with Chan. Joe kicked May, who was trying to outrun them, and this made Chan very angry. He grabbed the pole and slid down a few floors. Chan didn't know about the contents of the folder and was about to finish off Joe to at least deal with him, but Selena told him about the folder and he let him go. Immediately a nasty lawyer burst in and began threatening the entire police force with a trial. This time Chan didn't put up with his antics and knocked him out, along with his buddy, and at the end, Joe himself. He put him in a shopping cart and kicked him so hard that the cart flew into the booth, and he himself rolled pitifully to the floor like a donut. Now he was definitely not going to make it against the new evidence. Police Story 2. The yellow Mitsubishi is speeding down the road. Superintendent Lee tells Chan that despite the criminal boss's incarceration, he has another problem. He has destroyed too much while trying to catch mobsters, and he is too independent to be a cop. Being a cop means working as a team, and he should be thankful that he was forgiven for his antics with taking the superintendent hostage. At this time, a policeman stops cars on the road, and men in white trucker shirts get out almost simultaneously. Lee tells Chan that he is now a regular uniformed policeman, and then the puzzle is put together. Chan is the same policeman who stopped the truckers. One of the drivers says he'd rather be catching real criminals. Chan takes off his glasses and looks him in the eye, but he doesn't find anything to say. He gets on his motorcycle and gets the news that there is a traffic jam in town. He twists the throttle and drives to the scene. He masterfully regulates traffic and notices his sweetheart May. She has come to his work to bring him something. Suddenly a car stops in the middle of the road and out of it looks Joe Chu and his buddy. But how did he end up on the loose? The mobster says he was released early because of a serious illness. Chan feels uncomfortable with this injustice. Chan arrives at the police station and Inspector Wong tells him there is nothing to worry about and he should always keep his gun on him. Chan goes home with May, but right outside the entrance, their friend Joe Chu is waiting for them. He bought his address information from someone and threatens him with May's death. The girl hears these threats and is about to pour a bucket of water on the rascal, but he quickly escapes and the water gets on Chan. They laugh at the policeman and leave. May goes alone to her mother's house. She is very worried about Chan and yesterday's incident. Then John Ko shows up and threatens them both. May can't listen to this and punches the thug, but he fights back and the girl falls to the ground next to her mother. Chan immediately arrives at their home as soon as he learns of what has happened. He can't bear to watch this nightmare, so he arrives at the restaurant where the thugs are dining. Chan tries to embarrass Ko by fighting with a girl, but he doesn't care. He only laughs with his friends. The policeman can't take it anymore and beats the scoundrels, forcing them to test the glass. It ends with people flying out the window right into the road, forcing the car with the birds to roll right into the restaurant window. As always, it ends in a big pogrom. Superintendent Lee reprimands Chan, but he no longer cares, turning in his police badge and announcing his resignation. No one stops him and he leaves the office, meeting with Ko, who has come to complain like a child. Chan isn't going to stand for it and knocks the bandit out again. In the evening, he goes on a date with May. They take a boat ride and talk about his job as a policeman. The girl is very happy that he quit his job and suggests they take a vacation somewhere abroad. They go to a travel agency and buy tickets to Bali. His former colleague Freddie comes up to him and tells him there is a bomb in the store and they have 10 minutes to clear it. He wastes no time and quickly responds by calling the fire alarm. No one responds and then he goes to the microphones and breaks the news about the bomb. Everyone leaves the center, including May, with whom he had to leave. The police arrive on the scene and are reprimanded by the center's administration for setting off the alarm for nothing. Chan, as the main instigator, gets the worst of it. They wait for the bomb squad, but they don't get inside in time and the building explodes. Mr. Poole, the owner of the mall, gets a call from the man who planted the bomb, threatening him with a bigger bomb. The case is turned over to the department where Chan worked, but they have no one for such a difficult task and so Chan is dragged right out of the plane into a room where the superintendent and Inspector Wong are sitting. Chan resists, and the superintendent talks him down in every way he can, retracting his words in the beginning, but it's not enough. Chang soon agrees, but when he goes to warn May about it, he finds out that her plane has already left and he is still here, and with her passport as well. Well, now he has to take the case for sure, while May rests in safety. Inspector Wong and Chan go to the office of one suspect, Mr. Wong. Chan accidentally enters the conference room and clings to the back of the desk out of desperation. Chan places a wiretap bug and pretends to be one of them, wearing a jacket and looking at the stock too. When everyone returns to their seats, he walks out the door and finally leaves the building. Chan arrives at the police station and sees May. She becomes hysterical and beats Chan, following him all the way to the bathroom. He hides in a stall, but she walks into the next one, where Wong is sitting, gets up on his tank and continues to tell Chan off. Then she goes to her motorcycle, but he picks up an umbrella and keeps begging her to come back. The girl does leave, and Chan is summoned by the superintendent. He makes a date with May, but they find no words and just sit in silence all day. May leaves and when Chan tries to catch up with her, Koo appears out of nowhere with a gun and threatens them. The gun turns out to be a toy, but the crowd of people with guns is real, and Chan tries to get away from them, but they As always, take the numbers and Chan gets hit hard by them. Ku only yells something from behind. The chase continues and lo and behold, a car chases Chan down a narrow corridor, but he pushes off the wall at a dead end and jumps onto the roof of the car. The guy inside says he was just hired and Chan leaves him. When he finishes everything, he goes to Ko and he crashes into a pole out of fear and shatters his unfortunate glasses for the umpteenth time. He leaves and goes to see Mei, who is so upset that he chose his job over their love that he can no longer stay in this relationship. Oh, and there's something unpleasant at work again. The newspapers are reporting what happened, but the superintendent doesn't reprimand him, but instead offers to help. Chan and Wong are introduced to a group of surveillance professionals. He eavesdrops on a call about a deal and learns the caller's whereabouts. Chan immediately orders him to find the booth from which the call was made. The cop goes to him and asks for identification, but he beats the cop up and takes his gun. The cop is very upset, but Chan calms him down and says he will take him on his team. Chan is invited to a bar to discuss the details of the dynamite case. He comes in disguised and offers them a joint case, but Crazy Horse steps aside to talk on the phone and tells him to wait while his friends make a few calls. After a while, two guys walk into the bar, who lie as if they were cops and attack Chan, but he masterfully disarms them and flees the scene. Crazy Horse himself goes to his cabin with the girl from the bar to have some fun and turns up the music. But at the most intimate moment, Chan appears from around the corner and beats him up, but he apologizes and shows him his vault of dynamite hidden nearby, and Chan pulls out his police badge. He brings him to the station, where he is politely questioned by the surveillance team. The man says he can't be fooled easily, but the girls immediately turn into masters of their craft and he immediately swears he'll tell everything. The guy tells them about Polar Bear and gives the police his address. They follow him, masterfully hiding in the crowd. The man goes to the subway and quickly runs into the car right before the doors close, but even there the professionals are waiting for him, watching his every move and his ridiculous attempts to be inconspicuous. Eventually, he leads them all in. Chan and his team watch them from the rooftop across the street. When night falls, they take their guns and set out to catch the miscreants, but find only one deaf-mute man who can't tell them anything. They don't think he's dangerous until he beats up Chan's partner and blows up a radio-controlled car with dynamite strapped to it. The deaf-mute escapes and Chan orders the police to find him. Mr. Poole gets a call from the same man ordering the explosives. He knew they had contacted the police and would give them hell if they didn't pay the $20 million at noon. The superintendent beefs up security and assures people that there is no danger. Crazy Horse is approached by bandits and put in a car, saying they have an offer he can't refuse. The police, meanwhile, examine each person and check for a bomb. The time is nearing the cherished hour, but nothing happens. Crazy Horse goes to set up the dynamite right inside the police building, and when he goes inside, his cronies press the detonation button. Everything is on fire and the cops are running around with fire extinguishers. Meanwhile, in Mr. Poole's office, the secretary has opened a box of dynamite, which explodes right in her hands. Mei is kidnapped right as she walks with her mother. Chan gets a call from Mei's mother right at the police station. He doesn't want to hear anything and goes to his mansion without a second thought, taking out the bandit guards in no time. The remaining mobsters close the doors, but Chan has no intention of waiting. He smashes a window with a chair and runs inside. Jo Chu dies on the couch while Ko convinces him to sign the papers. Chan finds out they had nothing to do with it, but still breaks Ku's glasses for the umpteenth time. The phone rings in the house and he is told the address where Mei is, to which he immediately arrives, but the bandits, like rats, knock him out with a blow to the head. He wakes up as a prisoner, and the bandits read him a sad letter from Mei. Both he and his beloved cry, unable to restrain themselves. They want Chan to take their money for them, but he does not agree and the deaf and dumb guy starts throwing firecrackers at him, and then Chan is knocked down and pointed at him by a radio-controlled car. He heroically endures all their blows, but once they begin to bully Mei, he agrees to their terms. Mr. Poole gets a call from the bandits, and their call is instantly traced. They have to try again to prevent the deal, but they don't yet know that he is the one to pull off the deal. Chan runs into the building, all strapped up with explosives, and takes the suitcase with the money. The police can't figure it out, but ask that Chan not be arrested. He runs out and, pushing everyone away, gets in his car. Now he has to figure out how to get rid of the bomb and save his beloved. He yells to the thugs that the police are after him and tells them to slow down at the next intersection. While they are waiting for him, he drives into the tunnel and tries to disarm the bomb with the car wires. The bandits immediately figure it out and drive off to Mei's house. Chan manages to remove the dynamite after all, and he runs as hard as he can down the road straight to his beloved. He finds out where they are hiding her and breaks in, knocking the gun out of the bandits' hands. Chan takes him hostage, puts him in his car, and pulls a gun on him. He manages to get into the base. Chan warms up to the bandits and runs into Mei's room. He frees the girl and points the gun at the bandits, trying to explain that they haven't lost everything yet, but one of the bandits twitches and Chan has to shoot the pyrotechnics near him, causing everything to explode and the chase to move to the floors above. Chan gets tossed to the bottom, and now he's like that old gorilla game, trying to climb up while water barrels are tossed at him. Mei, meanwhile, tries to catch the deaf mute and throws metal frames at her. They fall like dominoes, but the girl takes advantage of this, hiding and pelting the mute with blocks. Chan fights the bandits, but they fight too foul, and the deaf mute keeps trying to blow everything up. The policeman sends the girl to the ground and almost blows himself up and gets into a fight with one of the bandits, but as soon as he gets done with him, he is attacked by the deaf mute, the strongest of the fighters. His kicks are like thunder, because of the powerful sound of the punch, and imagine what his strength is like. Chan is considerably inferior to him in strength, but he keeps advancing and beckons him to him in every way possible. Out of desperation, Chan throws boxes of pyrotechnics and gunpowder at him, but he doesn't react, so the policemen pelt him with flammable firecrackers, but when he catches fire, Chan puts out the fire. Of course after that he attacks the policeman, because people like that don't appreciate anything, and then Chan throws him off the bridge. He falls down on the barrels, and Chan runs away from the starting explosions. He gets very lucky and a building explodes in front of him. Mei runs up to him and they hug. Chan reassures her, what's there to cry about, they had such beautiful fireworks for them. It is important to note that this film is very hard given to the crew Jackie. Chan himself cut his head and received severe cuts on his arm, and Maggie Chun, who plays Mei, suffered a severe head injury during the scene with the metal frames. The plant that was blown up at the end of the film was the largest in the history of Hong Kong cinema, and pyrotechnics experts were brought in for it. Police Story 3. A security meeting discusses the drug menace. Most of the drugs in Southeast Asia are supplied by the drug lord Chibat and the Hong Kong police have something to do about it. Inspector Wong asks that Chan be called to him. Who else can handle it? Chan arrives at the station on his motorcycle and he hears that Wong's supervisor disagrees with Inspector Wong. He doesn't want Chan to be given this assignment. Chan walks in on Wong and insists that he be the one to be sent, despite all the danger. True, it was a ruse, for Chan was purposely allowed to overhear the dialogue. He goes home and tells his beloved Mei everything. The girl has already resigned herself to the fact that he is constantly going somewhere and only kisses him, not at all opposed to parting for a month, if not more. Wong and Wong's boss wish him luck, and Chan sets off. In China he is greeted sternly and tacitly. Chan is introduced to Inspector Jessica Yang. He can't believe that such a pretty girl is in charge of the Interpol department. He tries to be polite, but the girl is very strict about her demands. He is photographed in various costumes. In his spare time, the girl shows him around the department. The guys smash bricks with their heads while chairs are smashed against one guy nearby. Chan makes an awkward joke and Yang decides to teach him a lesson, saying that he will now do a demonstration class for the fighters, but Chan is very nervous seeing the strength of the fighters. He has to fight one guy from the base. That one comes at him and Chan dodges. Their forces are almost equal, but Chan manages, as always, to come out ahead thanks to his dexterity and cunning. To appease the mad student, he grabs a metal hoop and the guy pushes him. He rolls away from the building, unable to stop, until he crashes into a tree and hangs from it. Later, he is sent off to do cold prison work. At this time, an inmate named Panther must make his escape. His buddies organize a fight, and he climbs into a coal truck and gets sprinkled with coal on top of him. But when they arrive at the post, they are quickly exposed when a policeman stabs the coal pile with his bayonet. A disguised Chan scatters the crowds of cops and gets on the coal cart with Panther, but the police change the Wong and the wires and they have to climb a mountain on foot, from which they roll down a rope and fall into the bushes. Chan manipulates Panther and he begs Chan to escort him to Hong Kong. They arrive at Panther's friend's house, and Chan shows a masterclass in disarmament, causing Panther to gain more and more confidence. Panther becomes enraged at the delinquent bandit and shoots him. Chan can barely contain his emotions, but the mission is more important. After all, there are many more human lives at stake. The Panther thinks Chan needs to see his relatives and takes him to his home village. He is lost when they drive up, quickly figuring out where to go. There he is met by his relatives. It turns out that Interpol has thought of everything so carefully. And then the funniest part, his sister, a disguised Inspector Yang, and his mother, a disguised Inspector Wong, arrive. They masterfully rub in the bandits' confidence. Chan and Yang have to go with them to the restaurant, pretending that they are brother and sister who know everything in the neighborhood. Panther meets up with acquaintances at the restaurant, and Chan and Yang have to sit out. They are noticed by the local police. Yang tries to explain to one policeman that she is from Interpol, but because she didn't take her ID, she has to knock out the cop. A fight breaks out in the restaurant over the local cop's suspicion of Panther's company. Chan defends Panther, but is tasered twice and arrested along with Panther. Yang arrives on the scene and knocks out the police, allowing Chan and Panther to escape. The police car that Yang called arrives. They act out a scene as if the police captain is going to arrest Chan, but Yang sends him into a blackout. Chan is surprised at the plausibility of what is happening and escapes with Pantera to the roof. Yang joins them later. Chan and Yang gain Panther's trust so much that he invites Yang to Hong Kong as well. Together they take a boat to Hong Kong, where they are stopped by the Water Royal Police, but they get into a smaller boat, on which Panther crushes the small boats of the Royal Police. They almost get killed, but the Panther still manages to run over all the boats and escape the scene. Finally, they arrive by helicopter to Panther's boss, where right in front of them a man injects the girls with a batch of poison. They arrive at the Panther boss, who is playing video games, and as soon as he finishes playing, he introduces Chan and Yang to the crazy boss. He orders his men to throw them into the sea, to which Chan and Yang beat up 2 guards and are checked out by the boss. The boss's servant comes up to them and says that the girl died of an overdose. The boss only laughs in response. The mobster has already come up with an assignment for Yang and says she will go on the case with him tomorrow. Chan hears that some kind of massacre begins in the street and a man who betrayed the mad boss is drowned in front of him. The next day they go on an important case to the border of Thailand and Cambodia. And here Chaibat has it all figured out. The general is an acquaintance of his. At the meeting, the news is announced that there will be no more shipments of goods, and other big shots have taken everything they had. Chaibat tells him that his wife was arrested by the Malaysian police and a mobster jokes about it. Chaibat kills him by beating him over the head to death with a durian. Everyone pulls out a gun, and that's where Yang helps him. She points the gun at the others, and Chaibat points the gun at her back. It turns out that her body armor is an explosive. He uses it as a live bomb and gives the signal to Chan, who is waiting in the bushes with another bandit. Chaibat says he has no intention of staying without his share, despite all the general's pleas to stop. The general leaves and orders the house to be surrounded, where the gangs of Chaibat and the other mobster remain. A firefight ensues, resulting in many deaths as Chaibat's waiting men blow everything away with bazookas. Chan also has to shoot the military while Yang hides in a corner to keep from exploding. Chan shoots another important mobster, nearly taking a bullet, but Chaibat finishes the bump. Chan searches for Yang, who tries to free herself from her body armor so she doesn't explode into shreds, but everything is dotted with soldiers who shoot non-stop. They hide in the hut and, to scare the soldiers, pick up grenades, but Yang accidentally pulls off the pin and they almost blow themselves up. Chaibat and Panther find themselves alone and the general talks to them, but Chaibat is not at all unarmed. The bandits with bazookas in the bushes make the general realize the seriousness of the situation. Now the general is forced to sell them the entire batch of goods. Chan runs up to Chaibat and grabs him by the collar, as he dares to trick him into wrapping explosives around Yang. The mobster does not tolerate this attitude and immediately pulls out his gun, shooting the girl twice. It turns out the body armor was real, only one piece was explosive. He was bluffing. Chaibat flies off to get the goods, and Panther and Chan and Yen head for Malaysia. Chaibat sends his man to his wife to find out her Swiss bank account number, but she says she will only tell her in person. His wife faces the death penalty, and he thinks only of money. Chan does not notice at all the excursion going on nearby, which is led by his wife May. If she notices him, Chan is dead. Chaibat's men pull up to the place. Chan is walking with Yang in the park and they are accidentally photographed with a Polaroid by a guy from May's company. When the pictures show up, the girl thinks Chan is cheating on May and recognizes them by their clothes. She almost reveals them. They pretend to be giving each other massages, but May, sitting in the bushes, notices that it's her husband after all. Panther arrives at the scene and sends Yang to the bar. May runs up to Chan and starts telling him off. Panther notices this and goes over to see what's wrong. This is noticed by Yang and pushes May into the pool because she doesn't understand anything and just yells. Chan lies that she is a prostitute and they leave. Panther decides to take her off one last time, but she sends him to hell and he kicks her into the pool with another girl. They return to the room, and Panther remembers that he forgot his key by the pool. Chan goes there and notices May. She figured it out, but is now offended that he made her look like a prostitute and the whole hotel now thinks so too. He explains to her that he's on an important mission while the Panther sneaks up on him from behind and May pretends to blow off Chan trying to pick her off. What a team effort. Panther pats him on the shoulder and asks him to get the key from the pool. Chan leaves and Panther's friend enters the elevator with May, who knows nothing about him. She tells her friend about her exploit, unaware that the bandit is nearby. Her friend gets out and the bandit grabs May as a hostage. He calls Panther from his room and tells the whole truth about Chan. Panther takes Chan's gun and points it at her and Yang. At this time, Chaibat's wife is on trial. She is sentenced to death, just as she feared. Chan has to intercept the car with the mobster's wife. Chan pretends to be the driver of a truck whose brakes have failed. Chan causes a commotion on the road, which helps him and Yang free the woman from captivity. A bandit car pulls up to them and Chan conducts a wife swap. Yang, on the other hand, clings to the Panther's car, which is speeding away, knocking everything around it. She gets hurt badly, every second she risks turning into a flapjack. Chan, on the other hand, takes a tiny red sports car and drives after them, because Chibat's wife is his most vulnerable point. The mobster flies nearby and tells the bandits in the truck that Yang is sitting on the roof. They start piercing the ceiling, but she dodges all the bullets and manages to return the favor. However, she still falls off the truck right onto Chan's car. They chase the truck, which has stopped, and the bandits themselves and their wife run to the subway, but when they see that the car has just pulled away, they decide to run on foot, shooting back at the police as they go. Chan and Yang run to the sound of gunfire. They arrive on the roof where the bandits are hiding, but the bandits notice them and shoot. When the gunfight moves to the roof, the cops realize that they have no guns. The bandits are out of ammunition and the fight spills over into a brutal hand-to-hand fight. One bandit tears the roof beneath him and ends up at the very bottom, as does his buddy Panther, who has come face to face with the slate of the roof below. Yang has also fallen, but there is no time to save her. The helicopter in which Chibat's wife managed to climb is already flying away. Chan has no choice but to grab hold of the dangling ladder, otherwise the whole long operation will go to waste. Chibat orders him to kill the dangling Chan and the driver makes sure he crashes into the dome of the building. Yang, like a tigress, jumps onto someone else's bike and follows the helicopter. Chan wants to crash into a billboard, but he manages to stay in the saddle. Chibat notices a passing freight train and orders him to fly right over it. Chan almost smashes his face into the train, but manages to climb a ladder and release it, landing in one of the carriages. He then happens to be in a boxcar with durians, so the landing isn't a success, but the fact that the ladder got caught in the train hatch is. Now Chibat's helicopter is tethered to the train and circling like a fly. Chibat himself falls out of the helicopter onto the train. He orders people to come down to help him, but is unable to get up. Chan wakes up from his encounter with the durians and runs to Chibat. He orders his professional fighters to kill Chan. The mercenary almost throws him off the train, but Yang rushes to his aid and uses nature as a springboard to get to the wagon, preventing the villains from escaping. She disarms the mercenary while Chan almost flies off the train again, but it's because he crashed into the railroad tracks that he took out the helicopter. Now the Chibat can't get away, but they also have a hard time keeping up with the two scumbag mercenaries and the equally scumbag Chibat. Chan again pulls a trick, and spotting a road sign, distracts the mercenary with his masterful kung fu, and while he watches, the back of his head is smashed into the sign. Yang knocks Chibat out and massacres his wife, but when she nearly goes under the rails she saves her, but she also falls down after him. Now they are held by Chan, but he also falls down. Then Chibat comes to his senses and holds Chan, but the helicopter lying on the wagon explodes and the mobster is carried away by an explosion. The fallen policeman and Chibat's wife are rescued because it was possible to enter the wagon, but Chan himself lands on the iron. Chibat's wife tells them the number of the Swiss account. Chan and Yang begin to argue about whose police will deal with it. As for the scoundrels, the drug traffic that day clearly took a heavy toll. Who knows, maybe after that post Chan will really become a super cop.